Join me as we go through the journey of making you better at giving employee feedback. Stop struggling and let's build your confidence. Stay tuned to the end to learn about the ultimate resource I will be providing you. Greetings. I am Fred Feliciano, the CEO of Critical Conversations HR. Struggling to give employee feedback? Let's talk about it. Number one, before we go into the struggles that you have as a manager, let's go into some belief systems that you may have. Number one, your role as a manager is to make people better, and you do this by giving them consistent and fair feedback. Some managers have the belief that if you give feedback to your employees, that you'll be quote unquote a bad person. They also believe that if you give feedback to your employees on a consistent basis, that you won't be liked. The reality is, as a manager, you must be respected. That's the most important thing. Also, you want to be seen as a coach, and in some cases, you want to be seen as a mentor. Some other beliefs about managing and conversations is that having a performance conversation is a solo incident, or one-time incident, and it doesn't have to be that way. You can have a performance conversation that happens over time. Also, many people have the belief, or many managers have the belief, that conversations are painful and very discomforting, so they avoid these conversations altogether. Change your belief system. Conversations are a natural part of the supervisee process, and in order for you to be a good manager, you must be providing consistent and fair feedback to your employees. Now, why you're struggling with giving your employees feedback is because you have no fact finding process. Now, let's go into what fact finding is. Fact finding. What ends up happening is managers, they're rushing to conclusions and judgments. Have you ever heard of the funny joke people make about assumptions? When you make an assumption, you make an ASS out of you and an ASS out of me. Typically, managers are rushing to conclusions and they're rushing to take actions because of pressure that they're feeling from their immediate supervisor. I'd like to give you a pickleball analogy. So, for those of you who don't know, I live in Naples, Florida. I am a massive pickleball fanatic. I love playing pickleball. I try to play pickleball at least 4 to 6 times a week. Okay. Now, I want to go over a common mistake that many pickleball players make. So, here we have a pickleball court. This is you here. You're the manager. And playing with you as your doubles partner is your immediate supervisor, your manager. As opposed to you, you have your employees here. You have employee A, and then you have employee B. Now, let's say you're on the offensive side of playing pickleball, and you're going to serve. So your goal is to serve the ball as deep as possible, not going past this line. So bingo, you serve, boom. This person returns the ball to you, and their goal is to come up to the kitchen line. Okay? So you serve, person X here returns the ball. Now there's something called a third shot drop. Assume that the ball goes back to me, goes back to you, actually, the manager. Your job is to drop the ball in this kitchen area here so that you and your partner can have time to come up to that kitchen line. And that's where real pickleball is played. So you serve the ball, they return the ball deep, and you hit the ball. And your partner, your manager, instead of waiting to see where that ball is going to land in your opponent's kitchen, they rush up to that kitchen line. In pickleball, that's an absolute no-no. You always want to wait to see where your third shot is landing before you rush to that kitchen line. You want to give yourself enough time to get there, but if you come up too soon and the ball ends up being high, you will get smashed. So let's go into the fact-finding process. The definition of fact-finding is the process of establishing facts around a particular issue, event, or set of circumstances. In fact-finding, in my progressive discipline system, I speak about checking your emotions first. Before you attempt and even having a conversation with your employees, is first checking your emotions and being sure you are in a place where you can address an employee issue or just get some basic information. Also, part of the fact finding process is internally asking questions about the expectations, meaning, have you communicated expectations to your employee to know that even if they've been given enough information to act on those expectations? Also, part of the fact finding process before rushing to judgment, before you address an employee issue, is discovering whether the employee has obstacles in their way so that they won't be able to perform their job. A very important thing. So because you have no fact finding, because you have no process of doing this, you're rushing to that kitchen line, you're rushing to judgment, and the ball's getting smashed on you. This is one thing you want to avoid in pickleball, and you also want to avoid this when handling employee issues, rushing to judgment and making assumptions. So ultimately, you're struggling at giving your employees feedback because you need guidance. You need guidance. And there's nothing wrong with asking for help. One of the strongest things that we can do is ask another person for help when we need it. Giving feedback and managing is a skill set. Just like if you wanted to learn a new technology, a new platform, you would take a class, you would take a course. So giving feedback, and just understand that that's a skill set that you may not have, but if you don't have it, that's okay, because it could be learned if you have guidance. Another reason why you're struggling to give your employees feedback is because you don't have the appropriate guidance, you don't have the appropriate guides, you don't have the appropriate templates. You're making this up as you go along, and in turn, because the process is so strenuous, that it's making you not give your employees any feedback or correcting any issues. The solution is my progressive discipline system. This is an all-inclusive guide that gives you templates, how-to guides, and even a termination script. It will give you the confidence to give feedback. And it will also provide you with more productive employees. And it's also going to change your culture. I'm offering a discount code on my progressive discipline system. If you type in feedback, you'll get 30% off, and the link is in the video description. If you want coaching on how to implement this progressive discipline system, feel free to reach out. I would love to be of service to you. Take care, and I look forward to hearing from you. And click on the link below to receive your 30% off coupon.